Welcome, everybody. And today I want to talk about some new statistical analysis or conducting research using a ChatGPT. I putting into cute name. I call it as a generative exploration analytical modeling, but I just call it GEM. GEM is way cuter than another acronym. So the idea is this: we've been working on the many analytical model. For example, statistical quantitative analysis, correlation analysis, regression analysis, factor model, SWOT analysis, and multi-level or factor analysis. So many type of analytical modeling techniques. We've been working on it through coursework and our research, right? But all of a sudden, from 2023, right? I think my life dramatically changed from last year. Technically, it was a 22 December, November ish. Once 3.5 was released, and I dive into what's going on to this ChatGPT, and I focus on what is implication of this ChatGPT in my life. My life is teaching research method and assessment testing measurement program and also advising students in quantitative research method. So it's I try to combine what is implication and what is future type of thing. So I come up with some idea integrating this generative AI into the analytical modeling I've been working on. So how to get marry this statistical analysis and generative AI as efficient as possible, as smart as possible. Take full advantage of this generative AI innovation. So the GEM is set up sort of like a collection of those all efforts I've been working on last year, and it becomes nearly 2 years since 2003, right? At least for 1 year. So there's a technical idea behind the gem is should be multi-turn interact in iterative steps for exploring analytical modeling, right? The multi-turn iterative step is very important, but I don't want to introduce this concept as another language. I just want to show you what do you mean by JO? How does multi-turn or iterative steps are powerful and relevant, etc., etc. Right? Just wait for me. This is not a regular prompt engineering training for another data scientist. This is just we are user to this ChatGPT, right? Anyway, there's some guideline, and this guideline is designed to assist navigating initial stages of the research exploration. Again, I don't call it a research analysis. You're exploring research options, right? And then I want to give you more structured approach to formulating research question, operational terms, considering what kind of analytical methods or options are available, and the potential data sources and structure of the data sources. And then even we can work with generating some sample data and then run analysis and then including in potential interpretation, right? So we will exploring not only research question background, we exploring the entire sequence together with hypothetical data. So don't collect the data yet, but still you can run some analysis, and you don't have to, you know, wait until IRB and wait until the coursework done. You don't need to. It's just exploring what are options and what are necessities and what are pros and cons and all those techniques, and then you can once again before make final decision you can exploring using this step by step guideline. It's essential to incorporate the more important thing is in your unique research idea. Once again, this is idea is what you have to start your initial unique research idea. You don't have to have a super duper complete research proposal. No, but you need to have your genuine research idea. You can't copy someone else. You have to start with your research idea. What kind of idea, Jewa, do I have to include it? It should be specific as possible, original as possible. This need to be able like exploratory lens and emphasis and process of discovery and understanding. Instead of, we're using this one as exploratory. Don't make as a high stake a conclusive decision. No, you don't need to make a decision. You are exploring to what kind of direction you can go. So this is a fantastic and first course, and and formulating research hypothesis. And then this is fantastic because it's guide you which course you have to take it in, and and when real research method sequence, and which is already available in the website, right? So, and then also be careful. This is not just let GPT do everything. This is interactive process. And based on your own research idea, as specific as possible, right? And then your research idea, and then each step you run multiple times, and the so-called with cherry picking approach, and then let multiple, and let ChatGPT generate multiple things, and then you pick most relevant by yourself. So one more time, it's your responsibility. You adding relevant research background, and then also it's your responsibility to run multiple times in each step and choose best result out of you. Because it's not like a completely hands off. Let ChatGPT do everything. No, you are driving this car, right? And then you have to be full responsibility of what fine tuning and choose direction, specific direction to go. Okay, and I will demonstrate that thing. Anyway, it's more like possibility foster creativity, innovations, and without conforming to chapter 1 to 3 conventional dissertation proposal defense type of thing, right? And you have to engage this one with actively each step. If you need more, and ask more steps, and and maybe you can expanding, and or you can completely change the direction. So again, you are a driver. This is assisting you to drive, and then you can go to many different places, not necessarily which place is the best places, and GPT don't know, and not responsible at all, and final destination, and you go. But you, with GPT, this guideline, you can explore in lots of places. Okay, if you want to do it, it takes forever to take courses, and it takes forever to write some examples, and it takes forever to learning program to do it, right? So it takes forever to literature review to finish it, right? You don't need to do. You will do. Take courses and conducts intense literature review, but you can see the big picture, like a shopping around the lot of different places before you make a decision to, get married with particular method, particular agenda, particular courses, and etc. etc. Okay, it's important, but more like creativity, innovative exploration stage. All right. There's a 10 steps, and the first step is identifying key variable and features. I spend a lot of time, and which step need to be done it first, and then use the first step result as context, and to make next step is more relevant, coherent, and more desirable for you. So it's the step is very important. I told you this is a multi-step iterative, multi-turn iterative steps. Why multi-turn iterative step is important? Because the nature of the ChatGPT result of the first turn will dramatically impact onto second turn result. Are you with me? So sequence is very important. And then the initial starting point is, I know, one prompt. Based on provide research context below, identify essential variable features are relevant, include brief description of each. Wah, 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 wah. This is not important. Which one is important? The research context you provide. Are you with me? So you don't have to beautiful research proposal, but you need to provide your own genuine and exploratory research context, research background as detailed as possible in here. Again, garbage in, garbage out. If you don't provide your research context specifically, but your research background will change. So run it again. Next time, if you have improved the research or changed, revised research context, do it again. That's okay. All right. And most of things are work. It's okay to run in 3.5. Even though I strongly recommend the GPT Pro version, you can charge them $20 per month. A monthly payment, right? If you don't have it, just contact me. I will give it to you $20 per month to finish your beautiful research proposal idea. All right. Contact me. All right, next step is operational definition. Once again, this is carefully designed. It's not just randomly choose this one. First step is identifying variable. Second step is what are options to operationalize. Like, do I have to go to survey, or do I have to do some kind of test? Do I have to go to the experimental, design? This operational definition is very, very important, specifically in quantitative analysis, because these operational definitions will seriously relate to your analytical option later. Oh, do I have to go with ordinal data and continuous data and categorical data? How you design, right, to measurement. I said measurement. Designing measurement will seriously relate to your analytical option, which method you have you have to use for the analysis. That one seriously related to which course you have to take it, and then when you can graduate, etc., etc. Are you with me? Once again, identify key variable. What are independent variable? What are dependent variable? What are key variable I have to dealing with to in this research background? And then choose operational definition, which is how to measuring, how to scoring, how to you know observe it. Next one is this. Once you decide the key variable, so step three, technically, we option, you run step one and step two, and exactly same window, you need to copy and paste this step three. And then once you use step three, and then they know what were research background, what were key variable identified, and what were potential options and operational definitions. So each step you need to rerun if you don't like it, or you requested, hey, I want to go with the survey and in this method, and then you have to decide it which option you like to do. ChatGPT keeps suggesting to you, and then you have to providing your input and what you prefer to do. Or if you don't know, ask ChatGPT what the pros and cons and each what is what are potential consequences if I choose one of the option, right? And then this step three is very, very important. The reason is this research question, and then settle down the key identified variable as which one is independent variable and which one is dependent variable, and what kind of question can be formulated out of your structure of the variable and research background. Okay. And then again, ChatGPT not making a decision for you what research question you have to go for. ChatGPT provide possible options for research question and given background. Again, you have to run this turn as many as possible, rerun as many as possible, and choose best one. And then revise it because GPT is your assistant. You have a what? Full responsibility on each step. And I strongly emphasizing the importance of you adding your own expertise into finalizing the research question draft in here. Okay. And then after find the research questions, and then ask GPT, right? And then as a fourth step, and then once again, in the if you are step 4 and GPT assumes, and then as a background, it's step 1, 2, 3 as all background. That's a beautiful thing, right? And then based on step 1, 2, 3 result, and then you can select research method. Okay, even though I'm more like biased to quantitative research method, but there is a potential possibility of to go to the not limited to quantitative research method, right? But again, I'm okay to choose a specific method in quantitative research method and any of them because I'm expert and I can choose right thing. And I've been working on this one to the many times to let GPT suggest research method. And like last year and more than 100 iterations and related to research method suggestion, and all are relevant in intermediate up to intro to intermediate quantitative analysis. Let me repeat one more time. And I've been working on this step many times, and I would like to verify using my all more than 25 years of experience in this area. ChatGPT Pro, for example, is good enough to use intro and intermediate quantitative analysis. So this is, I never seen the irrelevant suggestion so far. You understand what I'm saying? So it's safe to use based on my experience. But still, technical details are different thing. But like more overarching level suggestion is very relevant and very accurate. Suggest what research methods are possible based on my research questions. My research question is based on my operational definition and key variable based on my research context I provide. So everything is related to each other, each step, right? And then after you decide research method, and then you suggest hypothesis to test. Oh, Dr. Choi, and sometimes I have to start with the hypothesis. That hypothesis in very early stage is more like a conceptual hypothesis. This hypothesis I'm talking about statistical hypothesis to test. Actually, you can test like a reject null, retain null, alternative hypothesis. Are you with me? Are you with me? One more time. I'm not talking about research hypothesis, what you believe. I'm talking about statistical hypothesis you will test using statistical method. So statistical method is needed to formulating statistical hypothesis. Are you with me? Okay. If you don't know, you can review the intro stat context. What's the difference between research hypothesis and statistical hypothesis to test? Statistical hypothesis to test is bounded to statistical method. You need to decide what statistical method you to do it to correctly formulating hypothesis, statistical hypothesis. You can't just reverse. Okay, it's very dangerous to do the other way around, right? Especially if you're a novice or not a fully expert in the research method area, right? Anyway, this is a statistical hypothesis. They write a null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis, what kind of hypothesis you have to test to answer your research question appropriately. Are you with me? Once again, you're not just answering your research question directly in quantitative analysis. In quantitative analysis, you are testing hypothesis to answering your research question. In order to set up the appropriate set of hypothesis, you have to choose research method appropriately. In order to choose research method appropriately, you have to decide operational definition of each variable. In order to decide operational variable, operational definition you set it down, you need to identify key variable from your research context. We are just reverse engineering everything from step 1 to the step 5 again. Next one is this. This is a beautiful, and up to step 5, you can do it with the ChatGPT 3.5 free version. If you invest $20 for 1 month, And then you can do it from step six. It's your decision. If you don't have $20, contact me. All right. All right. And first of all, generate sample data. And your ChatGPT 5, and once you let them know, and then let GPT know what are variable, what are method, and then what are research questions, and then they can generate hypothetical data for your own variable, what you got, right? So now you have a sample data, all right, which is beautiful. Once again, you don't have to collect that data. And right now, it's just the hypothetical data, you got it. And then you run descriptive statistical analysis with 15. And then you understand how they are operationalized, what are range and what are means and what are mode, and what that number looks like, right? And then you can exploring potential, analysis, first step of analysis with sample data, hypothetical data, generate according to your research question and variable structure, and then conduct analysis with the method you decided before, with the sample data you ChatGPT just generated. Once again, with suggested method, right? You can pick up one method and then let GPT run it, all right, and then do it. Once again, people argue you can do it qualitative analysis, but I'm not expert, right? I hypothesize possible to do some text analysis using a beautiful ChatGPT, but I never tried it yet. I did it some Delphi, another method. You're not like a deeper level qualitative analysis, but exploring the most of statistical analysis up to multi-level modeling, fact analysis. It was so beautiful. I strongly recommend you to do it using Python library. Again, Python library is so-called symbolic AI. Okay, it's different from large language model. Large language model, so working with those symbolic AI, and then you can trust all those analysis done it inside of Python, right? And then you can reproduce, and then you can trace what's going on, and then you can share those results with another expert in Python. Not only is great to learn the Python, and you don't need to hassle to learn other programs, and then you can just get an assistant from the ChatGPT to transform those things to SPSS syntax or R and other JavaScript and Google app script, and then you can transform those things to run it other thing like a SaaS. Again, to treat those Python is suggested from ChatGPT as what gateway to go where to when which direction you want to go. Okay, once again, because you are at the stage of intro and intermediate level, this is completely okay, and not completely, but I'm pretty much okay to use it as exploratory option, right? Python libraries are so sophisticatedly and sufficiently developed. Step 9. Now, what you got? You have a data, you choose method, you add a data, and you add a descriptive, and you have a basic, an exploratory first analysis, whatever method you choose. And then you can start to ask, answer research question with the hypothesis test result. Once again, in order to answer research question in quantitative analysis, you're utilizing hypothesis test result to answer your research question. Right now, you had a sample data, and then sample data give you sort of like a structure, right, of the analysis and structure how possible way of answering your research question. This is not at all related to your real, data set. I mean, in terms of reliability and other things. But again, it's great to do it to what kind of analysis result and how your research question can be answered with sort of fake data set, right? Exploratory data set. And the next one is write up the research section in APA style. And once again, this is a beautiful thing. And analysis stage, its technical expertise is so needed, frankly speaking. Because, for example, regression analysis, there's so many deeper technical specification you can do it. However, this AP style writing is so great, and then I must say this GPT AP style writing is way better than me. I've been working on like a quarter century in this area, faster and accurate and more professional. If you got a right result, once you got a right result, writing up in APA style, it's just so beautiful. Why you hassle try to write up the APA style result by yourself and then let GPT write a draft for you and a multiple draft for you, and you choose best one out of it. If you don't know which one is good one, that's another issue. Once again, if you don't know which one is good one, and then you have to go back to APL style writing guideline book, and you have to take full advantage of full responsibility of it. You understand what I'm saying? Once again, cherry picking idea is based on you had expertise to choose the best one. ChatGPT is very dangerous. Let ChatGPT choose best one for you. ChatGPT write a lot of different variation for you, draft for you. Are you with me? And then you decide the best one. All right, that's the idea, and I want to go with the there's a step by step stuff with the research background. How about this? Let's say next stage is, let's just say I had this research background, and then I want to show you how to do this using a GPT. Okay, so how can I help you today? Okay, what I like to do is this. First of all, you copy and paste your first one, step one. You don't have to, yeah, let's say step one. Don't copy and paste everything. You choose the copy and paste each step separately. And then I just had this basic hypothetical research context in here. Okay? So once again, it's your responsibility to provide research context, right? As detailed as possible, but don't copy and paste an entire, PDF file type of thing. You have to provide your own genuine research context and then run step one. And then first step is key request is try to identify essential variable features or they are relevant, right? So ChatGPT, out of the background that you provide in here, and she think, and I think the learning outcome is very, very important feature in your research background and student engagement and learning motivations and adaptive features and learner interaction, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Sometimes too much, sometimes too little. All right. And if you don't like this particular, stage of the result, and then you're always welcome to what? Rerun, regenerate. So don't forget this one. And then you can regenerate. And when you regenerate, and the ChatGPT technically forget and first result, and then they're just getting back to previous steps. And then as if she don't know, she generate first one, and then generate second one for you. Okay, and then you choose your idea is this: generate multiple times. How many times? I don't know. I don't have that particular ideas, and typically I did it 4 to 5 times to find the best one as a starting line of the draft, and then I also modify that one to have. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the variable I want to work with is this level. Like for example, I want to go with. I will go with what? Out of 10, I don't want to use entire 10, and then I want to go with 2. And let's say second one, engagement metrics 2, 3, and 10 as my interested variables. So you decide which variables, because there's so many suggestions out there, and then you don't have to do everything, and then you just decide a particular variable, and then you think you are relevant, and let GPT know what key variable you like to go. Once again, your input, your decision is crucial. Every decision you make is eventually right related to every next steps. Okay, so first step, what you got, and then second step, and I always ask, what was the second step? Second step is operational definitions, right? They already started to operational definition and the let GPT thing, and then let's say step two, for the variable identify, provide operational definitions that specify how you're able to measure it. Sometimes they provide multiple options how to operationalize these things, right? Because let's say engagement matrix operational definition is this, and then you can choose measurement tools. You have a multiple measurement tool, right? System interaction logs and participation rate, and then there's a like a learning outcome, right? And it's that construct. There's a many possible way to operationalize learning context, right? So once again, GPT suggests many options, and then you choose one of the options, and then you think is mostly relevant and practically available for your own, the idea. So let's say I want to do, I will go with out of this. Let's say engagement matrix as with I want to go with engagement matrix as engagement survey. And then learning outcomes, learning outcomes with grade and performance data. And contextual factors. What kind of contextual factors I want to go with? I want to have some institutional policy document. I want to get contextual factors. Say from, sorry about it. Okay. And then, let's say hypothetical 3 variable and which one you choose it, and then send the message. And then this step is make how you technically operationalize each variable engagement and other things and more detail about. Okay, again, you can go with the more deeper and survey design tips and exploring other, there's how many items in survey design, what kind of measurement for, instrument for the engagement matrix. You can go way deeper, but right now, just let's say we decide to survey and we decide to what in this is like a course grade as a learning outcome, and then also some document and policy document as a contextual factor. So you decided, okay? So then the next step is what? Next step, you will go for step 3, And then you ask step 3 as with the key variable and operational definition as defined, right? And then please formulate potential research questions, and then they should be explore the relationship effects between identified variable, right? So in this stage, I spend most of time to understand, struct, and then the keyword, and then this stage, what are independent variable and what are dependent variable. And independent variable is the factors to effect onto outcome variable. Dependent variable, typically outcome variable you are interested in, right? Like a final destination, your relationship among variable, right? So main research question, and then let's read it together. How student subjective feeling engagement measured by Likert scale related to their academic performance? Now the key word is what? Students' subjective feeling of engagement is the key variable. Cool. Let's make it as orange. And also academic performance as the other one. And generic research question is in relationship wise and how two things are related to each other. Okay. So in this case, you can go with the which one is independent variable, which one is dependent variable, or you can just association modeling like a correlation analysis. You can do it like so. That's the reason why I see correlation is already suggested how to analyze this kind of research potential research question. Next one, to what extent institutional policy resources supporting adaptive learning technology, and then technology influence to the student engagement level and academic performance. Once again, this is very relevant to multi-level modeling because this one encapsulates, try to formulating what is effect of institutional policy onto the relationship between technology to the student engagement and academic performance. I think this is very high level, include many things because this one already talked about multiple dependent influence student engagement and student performance. See how many outcome variable identified in here? Two: academic performance and students engagement level. From what? Adaptive learning technology. That's independent variable. And then you're not limited to this one impact onto engagement level academic performance. And then this one is high level, like there are investigating what is institutional policy effects onto this technology influence, right? Once again, you can go with the unilevel multiple regression, or you can go with the multi-level modeling, and this is so beautiful, things too. You can choose, you know, how deeper you can go with. Anyway, and then the other one is, are there any significant difference academic performance of student using then? And this is what, and because you are doing comprehensive technology integration or not. So this is more like ANOVA type of thing, experimental research type of thing, right? Or t-tester type of thing. Because technically you're comparing two different groups. One, use institution with comprehensive technology integration, and the other one is what, those without, right? So this is a great way of to see the ANOVA, ANCOVA, and t-test type of thing, and using experimental research perspective, right? Anyway, once you decided three, so another thing, and the next step is fourth step, and then your selection of research method, right? So step 4. Now GPT know all those previous background, right? List them for each research questions above. So you decide, you just accept those 3 research questions, right? Not like a primary research questions, right? For each of the 3 research question above. So GPT start to suggest potential methodology for first research question. So engagement metrics and learning outcome described in here. And then they suggest quantitative correlational analysis. Again, if you can ask another one, but right now, just low hanging fruit for, I think a GPT suggestion is correlational study, quantitative correlational study. And then include why this method is relevant. And then you're successful, chapter three, right? And then, oh yeah, I want to go with the correlation analysis. And then good chapter three and need to justify why you decided that method. There's just so many methods out there. I don't know, the course I took it is that method only, right? That's fine, but that's a lame justification as a doctoral level, right? And you need more professional level of justification. And then you want to be responsible and why you choose that method. And then this rationale was just so relevant so far to me because this rationale start incorporating what is your research question and what are operational definition and what is method and then and then related to the method itself. Once again, this becomes super coherent, right? This becomes a super coherent and include all those previous steps you design and you exploring. Second research question, mixed method comparative statistical. See, Martel, another name of this one is more like, there's so many way to go. And then this one suggests the mixed method and then do some qualitative analysis and then some qualitative and quantitative analysis together. Okay, I'm not an expert in this mixed method, but I think I can designing this one into multi-level modeling as institution variable as covariate for the slope from technology to technology to the other student level outcome variable, right? Third research question, same thing. They recommend experimental research. Well, right now, quasi experimental research, and then they randomly assign students to two group, which is comprehensive technology group, other groups, and then you run the t-test or what the other relevant type of correction if necessary. Okay. So once again, let's say once again you can rerun and then revise and then you refine it and then let ChatGPT know and which options you prefer to do, or you can just to take it as it is and then GPT assume and this is has been determined and then we can move on to the next step naturally, right? Once you decided this method, and the next step, step five, is hypothesis development. Once again, this is a statistical hypothesis. It's different from research hypothesis. So more focus on what you which how you formulating your null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis to reject and retaining null. Once you provide in this level and then it becomes what is so relevant, this all hypothesis statement once again coherent with what your research question, not only your research question but also operational definition and method. So this becomes what much more powerful and the relevance is the key term, coherence is key term, because sometimes students are so deviated or isolated. Their research question and hypotheses and research background and operational definitions are so isolated, and then it takes a lot of time to make everything as coherent as possible. And the GPT, this technology is awesome to make that maintaining high level coherency to all those research question and hypothesis method and operational definition. Okay, right. Again, you can choose cherry picking of the relevant type of hypothesis you want, right? That's okay. Or you can go with do what? move on to the next step as if you confirm all those things. So next step is step 6. Now you ask, hey, would you please create some sample data set for me? Now you know all those possible hypotheses and key variable and what analysis you go, and GPT start to suggest relevant sample data. And this is, for you to exploring what kind of analysis can be done, how it can be performed before you taking a classes, until you decide to do. All right. So, sample size 15, the reason why I sample size 15 is the ChatGPT sometimes they cut it off if you ask too many data set. It's the exploratory, right? This is the fake data, right? But structure is very relevant, right? As you defined it before, right? So, engagement score, academic performance, and blah, blah, blah. It's all hypothetical 15 data set has been generated. And I strongly recommend you choose this view analysis tab and copy and paste entire this Python pandas library. They used it, how they did it for you. Once again, this part, which is only available GPT Pro, all those analysis generating not analysis this is generating sample data procedure is done by Python. Oh, Dr. Choi, I don't know the Python. That's the exact point of this, right? So this is simple level of running Python is very, very safe, and you can rerun again, and you got a code, and then you can replicate exactly same result whenever you want with this code. Once again, copy code, save it in separately. Okay, not only save this entire thing, and then I will let you know how to use this one ethically and responsibly later, but I recommend you to save this entire thing, right? And then you just copy code and just save it into separately, because you can verify you rerun this part again, or you can collaborate with your friends, or you can understand what's going on and do it again, and you need this code separately. But GPT provided that raw code, Python code syntax, has been analyzed. Okay, next step is what? Step 7. Utilize the January sample data to perform descriptive statistical analysis. I want to see the basic statistical analysis. Beautiful. Okay, right now GPT do know what data we are working on it. All right, and then they can do the sample descriptive. You need to run the descriptive statistical analysis anyway for the any level of inferential statistic, right? So they provide relevant descriptive statistic, which is mean, mode, median, range, interquartile range, variance, standard deviation type of thing, right? So each variable, not only they provide those descriptive statistic results and text, but also they provide, once again, this is secondary important, more important thing in each analytical step is you need to click this view analysis and copy and paste in this code, because this is different from random language model. Language model use right up to this symbolic AI code syntax for you. And then in case you have to transform this data to R and other code and SPS and SAS, let GPT ask to do it, because this is so simple. The error rate is so little. Are you with me? Anyway, you can have some graph and other things and visualized, more like a visual representation of the data set and pie chart. You can do it. And let me skip to that part. Right now, that's a secondary options and minor issue. All right, next step, step 8. Now, I ask that, hey, apply the research method Now you can let's reduce that for or for the research question one. The reason is I don't want to have every analysis in here. I just ask research question one, what is we identified as correlation analysis, and then let her do it. Because right now, the research and then GPT do know what is research question one, and GPT do know, and we decide a correlation analysis for the research question one, right? And then the Python library do have a what the correlation, coefficients, library right there, right? So, and then p-value and significantly less than zero point 0.5 and and then you have to copy and paste. They use stat library, right? And then they use Pearson R as a function. And then they use Pearson R as a function and sample data, and then we decided and before has been utilized, and then display as correlation coefficient in the p-value. This is the result, right? So this is a research question one analysis result, right? And then in here, yeah, and then step nine is what? Let's write, because we had a research question one for our Q1. Apply the research method. You select data set, more in-depth. No, no, no. Answer. Yeah, I think we have to. Step nine is different. We already did it, right? Answer the research question and hypothesis test result for the Q1, because we already had a hypothesis test. And so we're getting back to research questions. And what was a research question? How do we subjective feeling engage? Yeah, it was original statement, the research question, right? And then we create those hypothesis test result as a formal answer on the research question. One more time. In conventional statistical analysis, we choose method, and the method bounded to hypothesis testing structure. And a given hypothesis testing structure, right? And then with the result of the hypothesis test of given method, and we're able to answer research question, right? So we have to run hypothesis test first, and then write up the research question, result and hypothesis test result as well. Okay, and then conclusion, and they write up the some conclusion part, and etc. etc. All right, and then next one is step 10. Final step for our Q1, present finding of the research in this section, formatted of more APA-ish. Right? Even though this result is good enough to have us maybe deviate from APA style. So, and then this is more cleaner down. It's not a final version, but at least it's better than me version type of AP style result to write up how appropriately write up to the research question one hypothesis. Once again, because we start with the fake data, simulated data. This is way different from your final analysis, but at least you can exploring what kind of outputs and what kind of intermediate steps and you're able to do it, and what kind of technical adjustment or specifications, and then you can do it in between, and how it looks like if you hypothetically had a data set and collect the data set and run analysis in a short period of time. So even though you're not taking this correlation analysis, multi-level mixed method, and multi factor analysis, at least you can try to run it how it looks like, and then you can shopping around in a more sophisticated way, and and then you can your decision to next journey to seriously take a course and then run analysis in a deeper level with sufficient technical depth will need to done it after take course. Okay, this cannot be replaced your entire coursework sequence, right? But it will be very very important to accelerating your and steps, and then it'll give you very very informed decision you're able to do it. Final thing is, now this is what all the work you done it in a one chatting box. Okay, it's very very long responsibility, which is in 21st century is transparency and traceability. The reason is entire this chatting include your inputs and how did you make a decision and what background you provided, what input you provided. You can save entirely. Copy link. What that means, in this link, if you copy a link, and then you can share the link. Again, this is only available pro version. You can share the link to whomever you want. If you share it, and the important thing is this, and other people able to see what was your input. What was your input? What was the role of the GPT? What was your role as well? How you innovatively, how you responsibly use it can be evidenced in here. Transparent. Once again, how much GPT can AI can be done it? It depends. So you have to save everything. What was your input? What was your prompt? And what was your decision each step? And then negotiate whether that entire thing is relevant or not with other responsible person. If you don't show it everything, and then you just choose one of them and then let other people figuring out, and then it becomes uncertainty arising. It's not traceable, right? It's not transparent how much you take out of the AI. Again, borderline is depends on the community. And for example, committee member, you have to show every use of the AI to defend yourself and to make this entire academic, community is more, and we able to safely take full advantage of ChatGPT. Once again, you can save it. All right, there's no excuse. Oh, I use it, but I cannot tell you. No, you should. Why? Because you can save it. Show me evidence. And what was your input? What was your AI's? How much AI did it, and then we can make a decision with that evidence together. Okay, that's the final thoughts and comments. All right, thank you. I think that this is full spectrum. I give you more, another four more examples, and I had it, but right now I just utilizing first one, and yeah, thank you.